Welcome to the Stoic Tide. Let me tell you something most women won't admit out loud. A woman can think she has you figured out, that you'll always be there, and still end up realizing far too late that she lost a good man. And here's the twist. When that realization hits, it doesn't come in a dramatic breakup scene. It comes in the silence. It comes when the texts stop, when your name no longer pops up on her phone, when the energy she once dismissed is suddenly missing from her world. See, most of us don't recognize value while we're holding it. We confuse consistency with predictability, kindness with weakness, patience with lack of options. But the moment your presence fades, the moment your orbit shifts, something inside us changes. That's when it starts to sting. This isn't about blaming women or bashing men. It's about exposing the truth of how we actually think, how we actually feel when we realize the man we overlooked wasn't so replaceable after all. 1. When your silence feels louder than your words. Here's the first moment it really hits a woman. And believe me, it hits harder than she expects. It's not during an argument, and it's not when she's rolling her eyes pretending she doesn't care. The realization comes when you finally go quiet. When your silence becomes louder than every word you ever said. See, a good man brings consistency. He calls, he texts, he checks in. Not because he has to, but because he cares. And at first, she loves it. Then over time, she starts to take it for granted. She tells herself, oh, that's just who he is. He'll always be there. She confuses consistency with predictability, kindness with weakness, patience with a lack of options. And that's where she gets it wrong. Because when a man like you finally pulls back, it doesn't just leave quiet space. It leaves a void. Suddenly, her phone feels empty without your name lighting it up. The good morning text she used to barely acknowledge. She notices it's gone. The did you get home safe messages she brushed off. She misses them now. And it's not just about missing the words. It's about missing the feeling behind them. That comfort, that presence, that steady reassurance she didn't realize mattered so much. At first, she'll rationalize. She'll tell herself you're just busy, distracted, maybe needing space. But after a few days, maybe a week, the unease creeps in. That question she doesn't want to face. Did I push him too far? Did I make him stop caring? Is he really done this time? That's the power of silence. It forces her to sit with herself, to look in the mirror and see the cracks she ignored. And for the first time, she feels the weight of what she's losing. Not just a man who texted her. Not just someone who showed up, but a good man. One who actually cared. One who gave without asking. One who stayed until she gave him no reason to. That's when it hits. Your silence isn't absence. It's impact. It's the moment she realizes you're no longer chasing, and that she may have just lost a man she can't replace. 2. When she remembers the little things she didn't value. Here's the part that cuts the deepest. When a woman realizes she lost a good man, it's not usually because of the big dramatic moments. It's not the vacations, the gifts, or the over-the-top surprises she remembers. What stays with her are the little things she once dismissed. The quiet gestures she didn't value until they were gone. See, a good man shows love in ways that don't always scream for attention. It's the good morning texts she thought were routine. The way he noticed she was tired before she even said a word. The fact that he remembered small details about her day no one else cared about at the time. She didn't see how rare that was. She told herself that's just who he is. She got comfortable, maybe even entitled. But once he's gone, those little things echo. She feels it when her phone stays silent in the morning. She feels it when she's upset and realizes no one else checks on her the way he did. She feels it when someone new treats her like she's replaceable instead of chosen. And that's when the regret begins. Because deep down she knows she overlooked something priceless. What makes it worse is the comparison. Every new man gets measured against the one she lost. She may not admit it, but she notices. The lack of patience, the lack of attentiveness, the lack of genuine care. And suddenly the little things she brushed off don't feel so little anymore. They feel like everything. That's when it hits her. She didn't just lose a guy who liked her. She lost a man who actually cared. Someone who gave without keeping score. Who showed up when it mattered, who paid attention in a world full of distractions. And when she realizes how rare that is, the weight of it sinks in. Because the truth is, those small, consistent acts of love, they were never small at all. They were the foundation. And once they're gone, once she realizes no one else is giving her that same energy, she understands what she really lost. Not just a man, a good man, the kind she may never find again. 3. When she pretends she's fine, but inside she's spiraling. Here's something you need to understand. When a woman realizes she may have lost a good man, she doesn't always show it right away. In fact, most of the time she does the opposite. She'll act unbothered, She'll post those living my best life stories. She'll laugh louder around friends. She might even talk to someone new. But don't get it twisted. That's not strength. That's defense. Because inside she's spiraling. See, women hate looking vulnerable, especially when we know we messed up. So instead of admitting I miss him, we hide it. We bury it under distractions. We chase validation from social media, from attention, from anything that keeps us from facing the truth. But the truth doesn't go away. Because when the lights are off, when the phone is down, when the noise dies, she's replaying everything in her head. Did I push him too far? Did I mistake his love for weakness? Did I take him for granted until he finally walked away? And here's the cruel part. She might still act cold on the outside. She won't text. She won't call. She might even ignore your updates. But behind the screen, she's watching. She's checking your stories, noticing your energy shift, wondering if you've really moved on. That's why silence is so powerful. Because while she's pretending she's fine, she's actually panicking about whether or not the door's closed for good. It's a quiet war inside of her. Ego versus emotion. Ego says, don't reach out. Don't admit you miss him. Don't let him know he mattered. But emotion keeps whispering, you lost someone rare and he's not coming back. And that's when the regret digs in. Because no amount of pretending can cover up that sinking feeling when she realizes the man she thought she'd always have is no longer chasing. And while she plays it cool, while she hides behind pride, the spiral only gets worse. Because deep down she knows the truth. She didn't just lose a man. She lost a good man. For when her ego starts fighting her emotions, this is one of the hardest battles a woman faces when she realizes she lost a good man. The fight between her ego and her emotions. See, the ego tells her to stay strong, to act like she doesn't care, to convince herself that you should have fought harder, you should have tried more, you should have proved yourself again. But her emotions, they don't play by those rules. Deep down her heart knows she pushed away a man who actually cared, and that war between ego and emotion can eat her alive. At first she'll cling to pride. She'll tell herself, he'll be back. He always comes back. She'll hold on to the idea that you'll eventually chase again because that's what she's used to. But when you don't, when your silence stretches, her pride starts to crack. Because the truth is, emotions don't stay buried forever, and missing a good man that comes in waves. It creeps in late at night when she can't sleep. It strikes when she hears a song that reminds her of you. It lingers when she laughs with someone new and suddenly realizes it doesn't feel the same. That's when her emotions begin winning. She starts admitting things to herself she never thought she would. Maybe I expected too much. Maybe I mistook his patience for weakness. Maybe I thought he'd never leave and I was wrong. Those thoughts hurt. They sting in ways her pride can't protect her from. But here's what makes it even worse. She may still not reach out, not yet. Because her ego whispers, don't look desperate. Don't let him see you regret it. So instead she'll drop hints. She might like an old picture. Watch your story without saying a word. Send a casual hope you're good message that doesn't sound like much, but is really her way of testing if the door is still open. And if she senses it isn't, if she feels you've truly moved on, that's when the emotions overwhelm her pride completely. Because there's nothing more painful for a woman than realizing she let a good man slip away, and now she has no power to bring him back. That's when ego loses, and regret takes over. 5. When she sees you glow without her, you want to know the moment it really stings. It's not right after the breakup. It's not when you go silent for a few days. It's when she sees you start to glow without her. That's when the realization cuts the deepest. Because up until then, she could tell herself you were sitting around missing her, waiting for her to come back. But the moment she sees that you're not, that you're moving forward, smiling, living, that's when it hits different. See, women notice. We always notice. She'll scroll through your page or catch a glimpse of you in real life, and suddenly you look lighter. You're in the gym. You're hanging with friends. You're traveling. You're smiling in ways you didn't when you were with her. And that's when the panic sets in. Because she realizes you're not stuck in the past. You're creating a future without her. And here's the part most women won't admit. She doesn't want to see you miserable. But she doesn't want to see you thriving without her either. Because when you glow, when you level up, when your energy shifts from chasing her to investing in yourself, it changes the power dynamic completely. Suddenly, she's not the one being evaluated. She feels like she's the one who lost value. She'll start wondering, was I really that forgettable? Did I matter at all? Did I underestimate what he was capable of becoming? And those questions, they cut deeper than anything you could say. Because your growth proves something she never expected. That you didn't need her to shine. And here's what's powerful. When a man stops chasing and starts glowing, it forces a woman to see him in a new light, not as the man she took for granted, but as the man she can no longer reach. And that stings because it's not just about losing you. It's about losing the chance to be part of the version of you she always wanted, but didn't value when she had it. That's the moment she realizes she didn't just lose a man, she lost a good man. And now she has to watch him become even better without her. 6. When your silence forces her to feel everything. Let me tell you something most women won't admit out loud. Silence from a man who used to care. It's not just quiet, it's torture. Because when a good man goes quiet, it doesn't feel like peace to us. It feels like rejection. And that's the moment it really hits. She lost you. See, women get used to influence. We get used to knowing you'll answer, knowing you'll react, knowing you'll show up no matter how we act. Even if we say we need space, deep down we expect you to still be there orbiting around us. But when your silence stretches, when you don't call, when you don't text, when you don't chase anymore, it creates a mirror we can't look away from. And that mirror forces us to see the truth. At first, she'll try to fight it. She'll check your social media, ask mutual friends, even scroll late at night, hoping to see a sign that you're still there. But when there's nothing, when your silence stays steady, the panic grows because now she's not in control. Her feminine influence, her power, her pride, none of it matters anymore. And here's the part that really stings. She'll start questioning herself in ways she never did before. Was I too cold? Did I push him away? Did I make him feel like he didn't matter? Did I really lose a man who actually cared? Those questions haunt her in the silence. And the longer you stay quiet, the louder those questions get. Because silence isn't just absence, it's impact. It's the space where her ego can't protect her anymore. It's where she feels every bit of the regret she tried to bury. And eventually she realizes this isn't just a pause. This isn't just distance. This is loss. And that's the truth most women won't tell you. Your silence doesn't make us feel empowered. It makes us feel replaced. And when a woman starts to believe she's been replaced by peace, by growth, by your new life without her, that's when it finally sinks in. She didn't just lose attention. She lost a good man. 7. When she realizes she treated you like you were replaceable. Here's the blunt truth. If you let a woman treat you like you were replaceable, she will. Not always because she's cruel, but because people stop valuing what they think they can't lose. And for a while, she thought she could never lose you. She thought no matter how she acted, no matter how cold she was, no matter how much she tested you, you'd always come back. But when she finally realizes that's no longer true, that's the moment she knows she lost a good man. See, women respect strength. We respect boundaries. We respect a man who values himself enough not to beg for love. But when you gave endlessly, forgave constantly, and stayed no matter how she treated you, she started seeing your love as cheap. Not because it was, but because she stopped having to earn it. And the irony, the very patience and loyalty that made you a good man, were the same qualities she mistook for weakness. But here's where everything shifts. The moment you stop showing up, the moment you stop allowing her to disrespect your effort, the moment you make it clear, not with words but with actions, that you know your worth. She feels it, and it cuts deep because now she sees the difference between a man who chases and a man who chooses himself. That's when the regret sets in. She remembers how steady you were, how much you gave, how rare it was to find someone like you. And she realizes too late that she took all of it for granted, that she treated a good man like an option until he finally proved he wasn't. And here's the part she'll never admit out loud. That loss haunts her. Because once a woman realizes she downgraded, once she compares what she has now to what she lost, there's no peace in that. There's just regret. Quiet, heavy, relentless regret. And that's the final truth. A woman only realizes she lost a good man when he finally makes it clear he won't let himself be treated like he's replaceable. And once that realization hits, there's no coming back from it. Here's the truth most women won't say out loud. We don't miss you just because you were nice or because you gave endlessly. We miss you when your absence forces us to face what we ignored. We miss the consistency, the patience, the presence we once brushed off as ordinary until it was gone. And by then it's too late. Because a good man doesn't circle back forever. He doesn't keep chasing someone who treated him like an option. At some point he chooses himself. And that shift, that quiet, confident detachment, is what makes the realization sting the most. So if you've been taken for granted, hear me clearly. Don't beg. Don't plead. Don't prove your worth to someone who can't see it. Your silence, your growth, your boundaries will say more than your words ever could. And that's when she'll feel it. That's when she'll realize she lost not just a man but a good man. And here's the part that matters most. once she realizes there's no one doing it. Because regret isn't just a memory, it's a shadow, and it will remind her every day of the man she can't get back. Stay stoic, stay blessed.